Hi viewers, welcome to this episode. My name is Elias Simon and this is Kenya Centers of Academicians, a diverse-oriented research screencast program, TSS8, and this is panel discussion number 15. We are so glad to be here today and want to say welcome and want to thank you so much for following our programs. We really appreciate and hope that you're learning so much as you are sharing on this platform. Today we've got our panelists, and before we start, I'd like to introduce them to you, and I will start from my right hand side. Please, Liki, you can introduce yourself and say hi to the viewers.
Thank you very much. Hi viewers, my name is Ricky Koech. I'm the coordinator of activities, Kcador.
Thank you very much. We are so happy to have you today and welcome to this panel discussion. Next, we have Fabian. Please welcome, you can introduce yourself and say hi to our viewers.
My name is Fabian Suter. I'm an entrepreneur and an independent distributor with Alliance in Motion Global, and I'm glad to be part of this panel today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Welcome. Fabian, we're so happy to have you and welcome to this panel discussion. And on my left, he's quite familiar to us, but I also give him a chance to be able to introduce himself. Please, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Simon. Welcome, viewers. My name is Kian Wilfred, the regional consultant of the Kenya Centers of Academicians and Diverse-Oriented Research. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now, viewers, I'll be your host once again. My name is Elias Simon, and welcome to today's discussion. Today, we are picking on a very interesting topic, which I'm sure that most of you are going to be able to love. You're going to be able to like it. So I want to invite you to take a notebook and a pen and take notes, because this is going to be so educational, right? So our topic today is Eat That Frog. Eat that frog, right? So we'll be able to find out which frog is this you're talking about, but your assignment today is that by the time we finish this discussion, you can be able to eat the frog in your life. I want to be able to preempt the discussion. So I want to invite Dr. Kieng, the regional coordinator for Kenya Centers of Academicians and Diverse-Oriented Research, to explain to us, why did you pick this topic of Eat That Frog? Dr.
Yeah, once again, thank you, Simon. This is really interesting. I believe we are going to learn a lot. Eat That Frog is actually, we could say it's a proverb. Mm-hmm. And we want to liken this. I would liken it with the way sometimes we like doing those things that are comfortable. Mm-hmm. No one is willing to do the uncomfortable things. That majority of people like to do those things that are easy. That people would want to do those things that they enjoy, mm-hmm. and we do not really want to participate in difficult things. Mm-hmm. So eating that frog actually means you choose to do those things that you ought to do, whether you like them or not. It is actually becoming a disciplined human being, whereby you want to achieve excellence by doing those things that you must do to achieve the success. Mm-hmm. And so a frog, as we know it, is ugly. We know that a frog, as you can look at a frog, no one would wish to eat something like a frog. Brian Tracy says that if you must take 2 frogs in the morning for breakfast, mm-hmm. you need to start with the ugly one first. Mm-hmm. And actually, it doesn't pay for you to look at it for a long time.
Yes.
And this is what happens. We can look at this right from business world, mm-hmm. whereby for you to succeed in business, there are certain rules that you need to follow, and these rules are not easy to be achieved. As a student, for example, you need to do those things that are difficult. You have to study. You have to sacrifice. You have to pay the price, for example, in terms of paying school fees. You have to ask questions. You have to answer questions. I mean, all these things are not that easy to do. Mm-hmm. Whatever is good that comes to you, mm-hmm. usually most of these things are not easy. Mm-hmm. And so we say it is like eating a frog. Mm-hmm. So for you to succeed, you have to do those things that you don't like, yet you have to do them.
Wow, I like that. And what I'm getting from Dr. King is that actually the frog represents the pleasant things in our lives that we are supposed to do, but because they're uncomfortable to do, we want to do them. And that leads to maybe failure, all right? And the assignment is to be able to eat the frogs in our lives. So I want to turn this other side and now invite Fabian to be able to tell us, now that we now grasp the concept of eating the frog, why is it so important to eat the frog in our lives?
Yes, thank you so much, our coordinator. And to me, this subject of eating a frog actually is something very important. Like just what Dr. Arias said, a frog is something which is very important in our life, that actually when you achieve it, you'll be able to have achieved the greatest accomplishment in life. So it's very important because it also helps us towards our achieving our day-to-day activities and even the goals and dreams that we have in life. I just want to use an example as an entrepreneur. At times, you'll find that most of us are not self-driven. I'm looking at using an example. Before I joined entrepreneurship, actually, I used to work as an employee somewhere. And you realize that many of us who are employees, somehow we are in a comfortable zone, and we are being guided by the rules that govern the organization or the corporate ladder. Many of us find ourselves in those jobs, not because we love them, but because we fear the repercussions that will come if you are not able to follow the set rules and regulations. And because of that, you'll find that many people who are employed somehow, they have that fear of maybe running or pursuing their dreams. Maybe they are so good in certain areas like entrepreneurship, but because it's a comfort zone, you know, they get so used to their salary pay at the end of the day, and they fear to come out of it and even pursue their dreams. When I was starting to join the entrepreneurship field, for example, I got so many discouragement from my employees, friends, and you'll find that in the entrepreneurship world, things are not easy per se. If you're not self-driven, if you don't have the self-discipline, somehow you find that things won't go well as you perceive them. But what I can encourage people is that if you are able to instill those disciplines, you'll be able to achieve. So eating a frog, it might not be something that will just come naturally, but it's an habit that you just have to develop, and you can work on it day in, day out. Practice will always help you to get there. But the bottom line is, there is always life at the end of our comfort zone. So if you plan well, you'll be there. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I hope you're getting it, dear viewers, that some of us live in comfort zone because we are afraid of eating the frogs in our lives. But actually, the best life that you're looking for, the dreams that you want to be able to achieve, the life that you're looking for and the dreams you want to be able to pursue, they lie on the other side of eating the frog. Let me now jump to my next panelist, Ricky. Why do you think it's important, according to you, to be able to eat the frog in our lives?
Thank you, Simon.
Yes.
Yes, I like the topic because we are talking about the reality in life, the real things on the ground. The road to success has been likened to eating a frog. So the road is bumpy, the road is rocky. There are mountains, there are hills, there are also valleys. So you need to have that determination. You need to be internally motivated to walk through, so that even if you try once and it does not happen, you don't give up. Mm-hmm. There's also the phrase that says, if the walls give you lemon, you make lemonade.
Lemonade, yeah.
Yes. So actually, the reality is that life offers us very challenging situations. And we need to, everyone, we are competing, we are cooperating and competing to achieve and make it in life. So be it that you are a parent, a student, there is that vision that you want to achieve. But you need to have that capacity in you so that you work hard, you have time, give that time to your studies, give that time to your family, quality time with the family, with your studies, so that you are able to be successful. So actually, we need to persevere and be determined so that we achieve.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to give a quote that was said by Mark Twain before I invite Daktari. And Mark Twain said that if you started every morning by eating a live frog, you can go through the rest of the day without worrying that anything bad is going to be able to happen. And like our panelists have already said, that the biggest challenge that we have is actually procrastination. Right? We know there are things we're supposed to be able to do, but for some reason we don't do those things. Now, my question is to you, Daktari. Why do people procrastinate? Or why don't they eat the frog? Is it because they don't know? Or is it because they're just lazy?
Yeah, I would want to respond by saying that, you see, we all from our human nature,
Yes.
we would wish to do, we love doing those things that are pleasing or
Comfortable.
pleasant, that are comfortable. If you are asked whether you would want to take an holiday or whether to report to work, I mean, you could take the holiday. If you are asked whether you would want to maybe take a day off, I mean, we always want to do those things that will please us.
Yes.
You see, it's natural. Let me begin by saying it's natural to like those things that are easy. So, for example, a student, they would prefer to do those things that are easy.
Sure.
Because it is easy. Just because it is easy.
Yes.
You want to do them.
Yes.
You want to avoid those things that are difficult. So if there are two roads, one is a muddy road, another one is a clear road, that is a tarmac road. As a driver, you would want to take the one that is tarmacked.
Yes.
Because you would want to have an easy way. But you see, life is not like that. You see, success is not like that, unfortunately. Success has different rules presenting to us. We are presented with some rules that are tough, that are not easy. And that is the reason why 80% of people succeed, but 20% will remain. When you talk about the knowledge, despite the fact that all of us have a lot of knowledge, let's take, for example, two people, or let's say a group of university students who graduate, for example, in a particular year.
Yes.
And 10 years down the line, if these people were lawyers, you realize that one or few or 20% of the lawyers in the next 10 years will be successful.
Sure.
But the rest of the lawyers will be just out there, and even nobody knows them. Why? Because the few lawyers who have succeeded took the difficult way, the difficult route. So that you realize that few people will always want to do those things that are difficult.
Sure.
Few people will want to follow the rules, will follow the instructions that are given, and finally, few people will succeed.
Yeah.
The majority of people who would want to enjoy their life, to just enjoy, will actually fail. Yes.
Wow. And that's very, like, I like what Dr. said, that naturally, just like a river takes the route of the least resistance. If you pour water here, it won't go up it, right? It will prefer going downstream because it's easier to go that way. Fabian, you said that before you went to business, you are employed in the corporate world.
Yes.
But of course, when you left, not everyone left. And even the business that you're in, you're among the top, but not everyone is always at the top. So why do you think people are not comfortable? They don't like taking eating the frog, or maybe they prefer to procrastinate rather than do what they're supposed to be able to do?
Okay. Number one, to me, I feel there is an element of laziness.
Okay.
And it is true because you realize that what I was saying, in the corporate world, people could cooperate to go to work as it's required, not because they love their jobs,
because
but because they fear their boss. You know, there is always show cause why you never did this and this. But now when you come to a business world, you are your own boss. And the hardest thing I've seen out of experience is the hardest thing for people to do is to boss themselves around. You realize that many people, you know, there are challenges, normal challenges in life. At times it can even be rainy day. And you realize and someone would prefer to sleep because it is raining. You know, their bed is so comfortable. After all, there is no one who will go and ask me what and what, you know. But now, you know, at the end of the day, you will always lag behind when it comes to your own individual goals and everything. And to me, as a person, I think the corporate world gave me some kind of discipline. When I was there, when I was working, I realized that I used to ask myself, what if I could only run my own organization and put at least even a that of what I used to put in the corporate world, you know. And when I came out, those are the guidelines that really helped me. But one thing I thank God is I was able to understand myself. In life at times, I think we need as people to understand what their purpose, our purpose for life. Because it's like many people just live for the sake we are alive, you know. You wake up because it's a morning, you sleep because it is night, you know. And maybe you don't have something that really, what is your biggest why in life? Why are you doing what you are doing today? Are you happy about it? Are you making any progress in life? And today, as an entrepreneur, you know, I've been in entrepreneurship for the past 5 years. It was tough at the beginning because it was a learning curve. And today, my greatest aim is to actually to help these people because many of them, again, I think I attribute it to the education system we have. You realize many of us, we were told education is the key to success. I don't deny that. But someone was making a fun the other day that it is true, it's a key to success, but unfortunately, we are holding a key that the bad luck has been changed. So it's your responsibility, again, to trace where the current bad luck is, you know. However much our education system worked better for us those days, it no longer works today because I used to get stories of people, you know, those days they could go to university, used to be a celeb in the village, I mean. There was a boom in university, you could not even pay fees, and many people could even get employment before they got out of those graduation gowns, you know. But today, tamaking, you know, looking for a job is another job to many people. And it saddens me so much that people are not willing to move the dynamics of the world. Because things are changing, we also need to change our mindset somehow. So when I was in the bank, I think I realized I just need to be dynamic leader and catch up with the current things that are happening, the current trends that are happening in the world. And education, you know, entrepreneurship is the best way to go. And I chose to be a good student. I had to educate myself again, to read now books of entrepreneurship. And up to today, I'm still learning. But one thing I love about entrepreneurship is that you are learning as you are still, you are earning when you are still making there. You're always a work in progress. You are learning the ropes, but at least there is something to smile at the end of the day. And today, I advise everyone, even the students who are working, who are learning in schools, it's good. Education is good to have, but today, let's not go to school for employment. Yes, let's go to school just to understand how things are working, to get to understand how to connect with people. But let's always have that open mindset that will help you to survive in the current world that we are in.
Wow. Yes. I'll be coming back to that. And the something that you mentioned, I want to pick on that and I'll direct this to Ricky. You mentioned that some people, they don't do what they're supposed to do because they have not found their purpose. If someone has found their purpose, you're not doing something because you're supposed to do, right? You don't work because you're supposed to be able to work. You don't study because you're supposed to be able to study. You do what you're doing because you know this is your life purpose. At that point, what you're trying to say is that when you've found your purpose, then you don't need to be pushed. You're able to do what you're supposed to be able to do. Nikki, do you agree with that? Before I come back to you.
Thank you. Yes, I agree with the statement.
Yes.
When you have a sense of purpose, of vision, you work towards it.
Yes.
And you'll avoid so much disruptions or things that can make you go astray since you are focused on your purpose. But the challenge again we have is because we like doing things that have been done before.
Sure.
We are doing the same things the same way. We don't want to venture into something new. Just like the topic today, we are talking about a frog. A frog is not a usual meal. So we don't want that usual meal. We only want the usual meal, ugali and nyama choma. But we don't want to eat the frog. Why? because we don't want to try.
Yes.
We don't want to go into heights that have not been tried before. If my brother today, let's say, supplies something and is successful, I also want to do the same thing, same way, thinking that I'll be successful. It happens sometimes, but it's not always like that. We need to set a purpose and work towards it and be creative and innovative in our own ways so that we do new things. And that's the success of an entrepreneur. And I believe Fabian will agree with me that entrepreneurship is creativity. And it's so that when opportunity arises, you're able to seize it because you are prepared and focused. Other than copying and pasting.
Yes.
What others have done, trying to be successful.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like what you have said, that the biggest challenge today is copycats. And because we are not willing to go to adventure to new things, or that which is uncomfortable, they end up copying each other. Doctor, I have a question for you before I come back to Fabian, because you have a point you want to say. I want to ask you a question. Then maybe you'll be able to answer the question and be able to proceed from there. Supposing I have a bucket. And my assignment is, I've got big rocks and pebbles. Or maybe I've got rocks and sand. And my assignment is to fill this bucket with both the sand and the stones or the pebbles. So I'm giving you the assignment to fill this bucket with both. All of them are supposed to go into the bucket, right? I also want you viewers think about this as you're watching this. You're supposed to put both the sand and the stones in the bucket. All of them are supposed to go into the bucket. Okay. So which one do you start with? The sand or the stones?
Definitely the stones.
Okay.
Definitely the stones, because when I start with the sand,
yes,
the stones will not have a chance.
Exactly. Yes, that's very correct.
Because the stones are big, and still when I put the stones, it will still have some space for the sand.
For the sand.
That's
very correct.
I think that is the answer for that.
That's very correct.
Yes.
Because actually, if you put sand first, there's no place to put the stones.
Sure.
So apply this to Eating the Frog. In
Yeah.
terms of priorities, what is important, how should we be able to put our activities?
Yeah, I would use the Pareto principle.
Yes,
And
very
the
correct.
Pareto principle is the 20-80% rule. And every time I speak, I would really wish that our viewers get to understand we would really specialize in our speeches, because I would speak in the perspective of mentorship.
Exactly.
Because I am a mentor.
Yes.
Just like Fipi is more of an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Well, I would say this, that the reason why 80% of people fail is because actually they do 80% to achieve 20%, and not 20% to achieve 80%.
Yes.
It's a very real. It's very real. When we look at what is happening even around the world, even in our towns, we see that 20% of the buildings in town are owned by 80% are owned by 20% of the people.
Yes.
Even of the land in this country.
Yes.
And in every other country. That 20% of the people own 80% of the land.
Yes.
Go to a school and you realize that even in a school setting, it's only 20% of the learners in a class will be responsible for the mean of the class. Actually, 20% of the learners in a class will cause 80% of the troubles.
Yes.
And in fact, when you go to a wedding where people celebrate and everything, 20% of the food, 80% of the food will be eaten by 20% of the people. And so this is real.
Yes.
And these are facts about life.
Yes.
And as we say, eating your frog is the most difficult thing to do. People don't want to do these things that are difficult.
Yes.
People would want always to enjoy. And now eating the frog also involves learning.
Yes.
You need to learn. You need to know what you are supposed to do, what you should avoid. For example, the question you are asking, which one should you put first? You need to learn and have the skill.
Sure.
So getting the skill, going to school to study, you will pay money.
Yes.
You will pay money to study. For example, you want to learn, to have some course, you want to study something to get some skills. Sometimes we ask people to come and take a course of some skill.
Yes.
Maybe to learn, for example, marketing, social media marketing. You want people to come and learn basic knowledge, for example, even driving.
Yes.
You know, there are people who cannot drive.
Yes.
You know, and you will pay the price if you for your ignorance. So many times we do not want to give to pay, even by giving money, by sacrificing our time, by allowing other people to speak to us, by allowing mentors into our lives. And that is what, so when we do not do that, we don't give other people room, then we don't have skills.
It's true.
We will not have the skills to apply when a problem comes. So what I would say is that as you are giving me an example of the rocks, I would say we need to invest in skills.
Yes.
And when investing in skills is not just a decision to make, you also need to give out money.
Exactly.
You also need to go to a school and ask people, pay for somebody to teach you.
It's true.
And that is what we are lacking today.
Yes.
The young people would want just to maybe finish school and expect to be employed, to be employed basing on what they learned in school. Just like what Phoebiana said,
Yes.
that it is like the rules changed.
Yes.
It is like the padlock has been changed. I would
Yes.
even say that we have a key, yet we don't know where the house is. You have a key where you don't know which lock to open. And so if that is the case, you need to invest in knowledge. You need to invest in skills so that you are able to identify and know the right place.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I think skills, it's very important, like Dr. said. In addition to that, priorities also, I think so.
Yes.
Because our lives are limited. We only live 70 years or so. You can't do everything in the world, right? We can't do everything in the world. There is, and you don't have got like 12 hours of being awake. Then maybe you have to spend time with the family.
And maybe
yes.
just before you go ahead,
Yes.
I also feel that, as you say,
Yes.
what we also lack is the spirit of specialization. Most
yes.
of us do not specialize. As we say, from the same Pareto principle is that, you can only specialize in one thing
Yes.
and achieve whatever you want.
Yes.
For example, in the region where we are, many people like planting maize.
Yes.
They have some animals like cows. They are also having in the same home, they have chicken.
Yes.
In the same home, they have some vegetables. In the same home, they have a shop.
Yes.
In the same home, they have something, they are supplying certain things to some places. They do so many, businessmen and women do so much. They don't choose one thing to do.
Yes.
And imagine if one decides to specialize in chicken alone,
Yes.
you can be so famous, you can be so popular,
Yes.
businessman.
Yes.
Say that you can supply chicken to entire region.
Exactly.
And by doing that, you will realize that you will be in control of the business.
Yes.
And so you can buy maize, you can buy milk. What we lack is that we want to try everything.
Yes.
We want to do everything, but there is no room for that. We have to eat one frog at a time.
Exactly. And you started the ugliest.
Yes.
Wow. Fabia, before I left, you had something to say.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to clarify something about purpose for life.
Yes.
At times the word purpose, I don't know, it's something simple. For my case, I wouldn't say I had a goaling. Yes, that I want to be so and so when I grow up. For my case, I just went through school, and I was lucky to secure a job somewhere. Then I was really for the money part. At times you grow up maybe in a family whereby you inherit a lot of responsibilities, while other people are inheriting fortunes. So as a person, you just need to think, what best can I do so that I can be able to meet these needs amicably. So even for us, you don't have to look for something big.
Yeah.
Yes, you just look at around. What is this thing that you want to do to satisfy your family needs or your needs as a person, your community needs, and find a way, because in the world there is a lot of opportunities that we just need to look at them, embrace them, and work hard for them. And another thing that I feel make so many people to fail, I think there is this element of self-pity. Many people somehow it's like they have given up in life. Yes, I've studied maybe to be a banker. Unfortunately, this banking job never came.
Yes.
You now want to make sure that the government failed. Everyone failed.
Serikali's idea.
Yes, but unajihurumia mpaka you cannot look for something else. Sorry to use this example. Many a times at home you might sit and you see in the news, there is this A student
Yes.
who is being featured. Maybe he scored A, he scored first class honors. Unfortunately, he's working somewhere in a hotel,
Or maybe he reads about the border.
Yeah, to me, those are not news. It's normal,
Yeah.
because let's not make it as like, it's self-pity element, actually. I wish people could just do away with it and embrace anything that comes. And maybe before I wind up,
Yes.
about the big stones and the sand,
Yes.
I would still choose to start with the big stones because of two reasons. Number one, I'm looking also at the foundation of what you are building.
Yes.
Because even today, when we are doing a foundation of a house, if you want a very tall building, you will need to start with very big stones so that it can hold, it can have strong pillars to support the building eventually.
Yes.
But if you start with a sand, definitely you will be mark timing because the moment you are at level 1, the whole floor will always come down.
Collapse.
Yes, so it's always good to start with the big stones, and big stones here means the major things that you need to do for you to achieve what you want. And these major things at times might need you as a person to do them, and the rest, the sand, might be things you need to delegate to other people. They don't have to take your time.
Yes.
And you realize that you'll be more effective person in eventually. And using the same example of entrepreneurship, to me, I would say big stones are business, jobs are the sand.
Okay.
And that's why many people are always there.
That's an interesting.
Yes,
interesting,
just putting it that element,
yes.
but because when you look at our society, when you look at the business people, Dr. has told us 20% of the population are the ones who are running these big businesses.
Yeah, sure. 20%.
And even
yes.
when you look at it economically, you'll realize that the 20%, the movers and shakers of Kenya,
Yes.
20% of the wealth in Kenya, 80% of the wealth, is
20%
normally
of the
comes from the
population.
20% of their population. It's because people love doing easy stuff. But the few who are brave enough to do the most difficult things are the ones who are now enjoying
Yes.
the long-term fruits of their hard work. And that's why even they are able to inherit fortunes to their families eventually. And they are running programs that we call it residual income. They are able to pay the so many generations that they have come up with.
Wow.
So the message is, let's always fight. It is easy to start, but you'll enjoy it later. They say play now, pay later, or pay now and play later. So that's the thing.
And that's to get down the rabbit hole. You're just talking about doing the tough stuff, the hard things that most people don't want to do. What are these things? Okay? What are these things that most people don't want to do? If you can get specific for the viewers so that we won't be around to leave this discussion for the few of feeling that maybe we would have gone deeper. So I want us to get more categorical. When you talk about the tough things that you're supposed to do, what are these things? What is the frog down? Let's come down to the real stuff.
Thank you. I want to start by saying we are talking about doing first things first. Setting our priorities. And Daktari has come up with two significant subjects, skills and investment.
Yes.
That's why even at Kcador, we are investing in the brain.
Yes.
As a parent out there, I'm talking to the audience now. As a parent out there, you are investing in your children by taking them to good schools,
Yes.
so that they become important and dependable people in the future. My bishop, Francis B., I hope he's watching this, is investing in humanity by drilling wells in Turkana. He's also investing in heaven by preparing souls
Yes.
for the inheritance.
Yes.
Because I'm a Christian.
Exactly.
And so we are investors. And we have resources.
Yes.
We have finances, we have assets, we have skills and knowledge. But also we have time. And the rest of the resources we can outsource.
Yes.
You can outsource finance. You can outsource knowledge by hiring
Qualified
technocrat and qualified people. So But time can never be outsourced. You cannot redeem time.
Yes.
And that's why it's important to set. In regard to purpose,
Yes.
you set with the steps. Step 1, 2, 3. And the processes also.
Yes.
Because every step has a process. So that you are not able, you cannot suffer confusion.
Yes.
Since you have started with the basic, you have started with the rocks. So that when you come to finishing, the foundation is right.
Yes.
So these priorities is the most important is time. Time management.
Yes.
Let's start with time management. So that you set, you know what to do right at what time. Because now you are able to input knowledge, skills, finances to build an empire.
Yes.
Because every entrepreneur, in the long run, you want to build an empire.
Sure.
Every parent who is taking a kid to school, you want to achieve success after the curriculum. It was 844, but now it's 26 something.
Yes.
So there's that goal. Even as Christians, you want, when that time comes, you go to heaven. So, time, what are we doing?
Wow, thank you very much. And we are about to sum up, but I want to sum up before I give Dr. maybe you given one thing, build on skills, right? But now as you're talking about it, this frog, you know, you mentioned about focus, and just to give the viewer a story, they took Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, and Warren Buffett, the founder of Hathaway Berkshire, into two separate rooms, and they asked them to summarize success in one word. Both of them. This was one room, the other in the other room, and they told one word, tell us what success is, and they said focus. Both of them separately, focus. I know there's a meaning that you give to focus, but maybe you can tell us what are these frogs that you're supposed to be able to focus on, because our life, we don't live forever actually.
Yeah, very important. That is a very important observation.
Yes.
That when we talk about the frogs, what are these frogs? I would start by saying they categorize the frogs into 4 areas.
Yes.
And I would say the first one is things to avoid. Let me begin by things to avoid.
Yes.
For us to really eat the frogs right, and also to identify the right frogs, there are certain things that we need to avoid, number one. And in this category 1 is that I would say, first of all, we need to avoid, for example, laziness. Someone has said, laziness. We need not to be lazy.
Yes.
We need to work hard. And someone has said, hard work pays.
Yes.
And surely you've seen that people who have worked hard and persist in working hard will always achieve some results.
It's true.
Number 2, we need to avoid procrastination. That we keep postponing doing what is right. I mean, doing what you are supposed to do.
Sure.
So I believe that if we avoid such things like procrastination, we avoid laziness and maybe fear, because many people also fear. We talk about somebody has said, what was the meaning of fear? False evidence appearing real. And most of the things that we fear don't happen.
Sure.
Actually, 98% of the things that we fear don't happen. So I believe those are some of the things that we need to avoid.
Kind of what Mark Twain said, if you hit the frog, then the worst will never happen. Actually, there's no more fear. You actually eat your frog.
Yes.
There's no more fear.
Actually, you fear the frog. It is the frog that we fear.
Exactly, that's correct.
So now you have avoided the frog, and it's not there anymore.
Yes.
And secondly, there are also certain things that you need to do.
Yes.
For you really to eat the frog well, you need to be smart. You need to focus. Now we talk about focusing, following one course until successful. Because many people are doing so much. They are doing so many things.
Yes.
It's interesting to do them, but there are certain things that are not important now, but they are important in the future. So when we talk about focusing and concentration, I would also say that as we grow old, as you are a youth, you become an old man. When you are a child, there are certain things that you need to do now, and some you need to do later. Somebody said that before 20 years, you must become a good student. So it's like in your 20 years time, you must concentrate in becoming a good student. That means you need to learn
As much as you can.
as much as you can. Because there are times when learning will not be a priority.
Yes.
Number two, it says before 30 years, follow someone. Before 30 years, you have to follow someone.
Sure.
Follow somebody. Now, you need to have a role model in life. You need to have somebody in your career, maybe spiritual mentor, a career mentor, a business mentor, someone to guide you. You have to follow something. Because we said follow one course until successful.
Yes.
Now I'm saying you have to follow somebody.
Find a mentor.
Find a mentor. Follow this. Be accountable to this guy.
Yes.
Before 40 years,
Yes.
you do only those things that you like.
Start business.
Yes, start business, and the business that you are starting, it must be within your passion. You must do those things, and many of us are doing so much. Yes.
What you learned before 20, the mentor that you followed, the
Yes.
things you have learned up to that point.
Yes.
Do those things.
Actually, it's saying that because as you follow someone, you are now working under someone.
Sure.
Or under some organization. Or under some company.
Yes.
But now, it reaches a point where you need to work for yourself.
It's true.
You need to become yourself and say, now I have learned so much, I have learned enough, and I can apply them. I need now to employ or have young people to work for me.
Sure.
And that is why, before 50 years, work with young people.
It's not your time to mentor.
Yes.
Others.
You are, in fact, there is an African proverb that says, the old tongue loves to egg. Old tongue. It loves to speak.
Yes.
It loves to share because it is so wise.
Yes.
And maybe now the last thing, by 60 years, and after 60 years,
Yes.
you need to relax. You need to quit. You don't need to work anymore. You need to go to the beach and relax.
Spend time with your grandchildren.
Yes, then you have your grandchildren. And then you lie down and you take your clothes and hang yourself on the sun.
Yes.
So that is it.
Those are the fruits of eating the frog.
The
you
frog,
know?
yes.
Yes.
We don't need to work forever.
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Wow. Let me just very quickly, let me jump to Fabian. I'm sure there are things that maybe in experience you think for entrepreneurs now. For entrepreneurs, what are these things they're supposed to be able to focus on? Because like you said, entrepreneurship is not easy. Most people would rather take the path mostly traveled rather than taking the path less traveled. So as an entrepreneur, what are these things that they're supposed to be able to do every day to make sure that they're eating their frogs and they're eating their targets?
So I think for the entrepreneurs,
Yes.
it's just a matter of application. You know,
Yes.
people say knowledge is power, but wise people say applied knowledge is power.
Yes.
You find that entrepreneurship, it's not a rocket science.
Yes.
The only problem with entrepreneurship, people, they know what they are supposed to do,
Yes.
but they are not doing it.
Information overload.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe because most of them is because of those procrastinations,
Yes.
the self-pity aspects. But if you are able to actually actualize what you've learned, I believe everything will be okay.
Sure.
Because with entrepreneurship, it's just a matter of self-drive. Is what many people are lacking. Self-drive in the sense that you are supposed to have that self-discipline. You be in a place at the right time without someone supervising you.
Yes.
I normally love to joke. I know many of us have written CVs. Even our viewers, you might be looking for a job, and there is that section of personal attributes.
Yes.
Self-driven person, work under minimum supervision. We have all those stuff. Eh?
Yes.
I normally tell people those aspects might not work well in a job place. It works well for an entrepreneur if you are able to apply those things well. Half of you'll be halfway your success journey.
Oh,
so yes,
that's interesting.
Yes, so it's
So
just
actually, if you have written self-driven, works
under minimum supervision.
that's
yeah.
already a qualification for entrepreneurship.
Yes, so they don't work well in a workplace, but if
Okay.
you are able to apply them in the entrepreneurship place, you will be in a better place to be. And of course, the skills.
Yes.
The skills plays a very key role. I normally say you can't you can't pour from an empty cup.
That's correct.
You know, as a leader in an entrepreneurship, you are a leader of your own. And you are always on camera 24/7. People are looking at what you are doing. So as a person, before you lead anyone, you need to lead yourself first. You always need to walk the journey. And to walk the journey, you really need to read as many books as possible so that you'll be able to impact even knowledge to the people that you are mentoring in the business. And of course, in entrepreneurship, it's not about personal effort. It's a chain. of so many people that you're working with. And you will be leading a lot of people with diverse background, different needs. So you also need to have people skills so that you'll be able to relate to these people well.
Sure.
So it's just about getting to understand what you are doing, have the knowledge. Many entrepreneurs fail because, it seems simple, but it's not simple as that. When you look at all the professions, I wish only people could take entrepreneurship as a career. And that's the unfortunate part, especially in Kenya. People, it's just something, it's just a person. No one has actually gave it a seriousness that's required. Because when you look at our professionals, look at teachers. Teachers go to school for how many years? P1 teachers, 2 years. High school teachers 4 years, the nurses go to school, the doctors go to school, and they read a lot of books. And that's why they excel in the areas of specialization. So even for the entrepreneurs, I think we really need also to harm ourselves, to have the basic skills that are required in your specific sector, because entrepreneurship is something very large. Yeah.
Wow. Yes. I love that. And now, because of time, I'll be able to give each of our panelists to be able to give a party shot. And I'll be able to start with Ricky, so that he can be able to give us his part shot on this topic of eating the frog.
Thank you, Simon.
Yes.
My parting shot. I want to give 2 case scenarios. I want to have an individual A and B, where A has that frog and he eats it immediately. And there's this individual B who looks at that frog
The whole day.
waiting the whole day. And let's say, and these 2 individuals are suffering from hunger. Surely one will survive because he has eaten, and the other one might die of hunger. So actually, I toss this to our audience. We need to eat that frog in order to survive. In this life, we need to set that purpose and work towards it. Like my sister Fabian has said, it's all about, we have all the qualities of, like myself, I like saying I'm selfless. That's a very good attribute for an investor or an entrepreneur. So let's use that attribute that we have to be our strength, so that we maximize on it and make sure that those attributes that we do, like Dr. also said, at that age, from 30 to 40, you do what you like. Let's do what we like, so that at the end of it, we're able to be successful. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Before I come to Fabian, because I want to go this way, so that I can be able to finish on this end. I like the ideas that I'm getting. That some of us have given up on ourselves, but actually inside of you there's a seed of entrepreneurship, of success, and it lies there. You know, I didn't know what it means to write this. When you write our CVs, we all put these attributes. Little did I know that it's that is shouting, please give me a chance to be able to grow up, okay? Give me a chance to be able to bear some fruit. And that will not be able to happen if we eat that frog. Actually, according to Ricky, is that you either eat the frog or you die. You know, die does not mean like physically die. You can be alive, but you're still dead. Yes, your party shot.
Yes, alive but still dead. I read a book that says many people died long time ago, but they are buried at 65.
Oh my goodness.
Just on a lighter note, yeah?
Yes.
My viewers, my parting shot for today is that I just want to ask to be specific. I want to give you some assignment. List down the most important things you'd love to achieve before the year ends. I've said list down 5. Then from that 5, I want you to ask to 0, the best 2. And focus on those 2. Then look for a mentor to help you walk the journey to achieve those goals. And I'm pretty sure that by the end of this year, you will thank me. Wow. So it's very doable. I just want to give you hope that everything is okay. It's just about focusing it. So 0 to 2, and I know from there it will help you to achieve the remaining of the goals. Yeah.
Wow. I love that. Dr. please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Viewers, this is my message as we end this interesting discussion, Be, do, have. That is the process I would want you to take. Be, do, have. That before you eat your frog, first of all, become. Becoming in this sense, you need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in your thinking. We say before you change your success, there are certain roads that you need to follow. There is this road. First of all, the first in this process is you change your thinking. When you change your thinking, you change your attitude. When you change your attitude, you change your beliefs. When you change your beliefs, you change your behavior. When you change your behavior, you change your performance. When you change your performance, you change your results. And all this, you can only do this by learning, by investing in knowledge, by studying, by reading books. Many people don't want to research. We need to research. We need to get lessons from other people. We need to get into books and understand. Secondly, now do. After learning the lessons, after getting to understand from the books you've read, now do, because you can only do what you understand. You cannot do before you learn. So now you do. And then when you do, that is now taking action, then you have. And that is the process. Lastly, I would want to advise businessmen and women to always value or embrace risk-taking. Because many of us fear to risk. You give someone the list of items one is supposed to do. And many times it involves even putting money. But people fear to put money. Businessmen and women fear to put money even in a new market. Our schools even fear to put money in mentors and even in exposure programs. Students fear to do new things. I mean, risk-taking is the way to go. And when we risk and do, have, that is the right way of eating the frog.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, viewers, and hope that you've learned a ton from our panelists today. And I like the assignments that you've been given. Thank you so much, Fabian, for that assignment. Thank you so much, Daktari, and thank you so much, Ricky, for being part of this presentation. And now, viewers, before we can be able to finish the discussion, I want to challenge you that I hope this time that you've spent here is time that you've invested, you've learned something, and you're going to be able to implement. Otherwise, I want to thank you so much for watching this discussion. Please follow us, subscribe to the YouTube channel, so that you can be able to continue getting more content going forward. Because every week we'll be uploading a new video, which is going to be so educative, so that you can be able to learn, you grow, as well as your family. Thank you so much, panelists, for being part of this discussion. Thank you so much, Daktari. Thank you so much. Vicky, thank you so much, and Fabian, thank you very much. Asanteni sana. See you next time. See you guys.